Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's live stream. As you can tell, we're not Junbeya, but we're interns. So this week is our intern takeover, and we're going to talk about what we want to talk about. So first up, my name is Angela. I'm an intern at BayhaGroup, and I'm also a Warren High School senior. And besides from being a student, I am also involved in cheerleading, and I like to doodle in my free time, sketch, cook, all that good stuff. So I'm going to pass it on to Belen.
So, hi everyone, my name is Belen Rodriguez, and I'm also a senior at Warren High School. And I am really interested in just the arts, and some of my hobbies when I don't like to just work, it's just mainly sketching, painting, and then sometimes cooking as well. So, I'm going to pass it to Emma.
Hi, my name is Emma Rose, and I'm a co-designer intern. I'm a senior. And aside from all of my academics and work, I'm really passionate about writing. I love writing scripts and personal essays. And yeah, on to Casandra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Casandra Martinez, and some of the things I'm interested in are the environment. So I love to go hiking and be outside in nature. And I also really like sketching and drawing on my free time, as well as video editing. I'm a senior at Downey High School, and your co-designer intern.
That is great. Okay, so now we are going to talk about our career aspirations. So for me, I want to study in the field of computer science, and I want to become a software engineer in the future. So that's just what I like to do. And I'm currently taking AP Computer Science to strengthen my knowledge in the field. My preferred language, coding language, is Java. And I was also involved in Girls Who Code in the past summer. So that's just a little bit about my experience. Belen?
Yeah, so I am very interested into graphic design and just digital arts in general. Some of the things I've been doing recently is just downloading one of the famous apps, just like Procreate. Sometimes just get like the random sketching apps I find on like the App Store. And I really just been practicing my craft just in general, just been able to try to like learn new techniques on how to do like digital texturing and such things as that. So I'm trying to get better at it every single day. So go ahead, Emma.
I am an intersectional feminist, so my career aspirations include engaging in activism through my passions, whether it's writing or social media management, which I just really recently I really became aware of the impact that social media can have on achieving social reform. And Casandra.
A career that I'm interested in is environmental engineering. I take a part of a lot of design projects at school, and I've also been a part of robotics, so I understand the mechanics behind it, and I'm really excited for that.
Yes, so I would love to answer some questions, and let's see if there are any questions in the comment section. But right now, I just want to talk about some certain issues in our intended career fields. For example, for my career field, it's a STEM field, especially the computer science aspect of it. And I know that there are not a lot of girls in my field, and I want to do something to bring more girls to study programming, because people think that it's hard, it's not for girls, it's not for everyone, it's only for introverts, and that is definitely not true. I want to be able to be a role model in the future for the young girls and other females to try it out, because they can't be what they can't see, and that's what I hope to do.
Definitely great points, Angela. So, in terms of my career aspect, I know it's very generalized for just females to be into art, and you really don't exactly see males fit into that role. So, that's something that's kind of been grabbing at my mind a little bit. So, one of the few things that I just wanted to mention is just how art is for everybody. It isn't like gender normalized, and it doesn't exactly have to be fit for one gender and then fit for another, like stereotypes basically. So yeah, that's definitely one of the things I wanted to address, which is something I think we can definitely improve within the future.
Yes, I agree.
I think it's so interesting hearing you guys talk about I will get to that question 1 second. I'm just going to make this one point that you guys talk about your aspirations and how it adheres to gender while Belen's aspirations don't. And that's the same for me. Writing is quite gender blind nowadays. It wasn't always in the past. So now I feel that I more want to work on I guess other issues that are outside of my field, but using my creativity to achieve change, basically.
And kind of to address the question that was asked earlier, as a co-designer intern, it's equal. There's female, there's males, and I don't feel like there's anything wrong there. And honestly, they just try to include everyone. As a co-designer intern, everyone participates, and it's really a liberating process.
That is great. Yes. And for me, being a co-designer intern, and I think BayhaGroup is such a welcoming, joyful and just supportive organization that I am so proud and so honored to be in. So I enjoy working here every day, seeing my coworkers and everyone. It feels like family.
I agree. Go ahead, Belen.
No, I was just gonna mention how just being a co-designer intern is just something that truly just broadens your perspective in terms of like what a workplace could be, like what you can create with your team and just collaborating in general. Because I think we all made it a team effort to be able to just turn it into just like this very safe and connected environment to be able to just communicate and just know everybody's thoughts and just be able to help them out the best way we can.
Yeah, it's definitely through this internship that I was able to embrace my voice. And I wasn't always so open, and I've never really been as vulnerable as I am now. I started my own platform that I know the other girls know about on Instagram. It's called Femature, where I talk about literature genres that are often neglected. And it's just to start the conversation, which is something that we started, the four of us together, and that's how we've realized that we all have common goals in our own career fields.
How do you find out the issues are in my field? Okay, so personally for me, I found those issues out I've heard of those issues before, but when I actually experienced it, it was shocking. So at my school, frozen. Okay, there are only one computer science class, a class of 30 for a student body of maybe about like 3,800. And in that class, I am only one of the only 3 females out of 32 people in the class, and I was like, wow, like how come there are not many girls in this class? And it's so just weird, and sometimes I feel overshadowed by the boys, but I try to encourage myself to speak up and really try to make myself shine and be on the same level as them, because it does get a little difficult in the class with all the concepts and stuff. But it was from that moment I wanted to do something, because for me experiencing that was just a little shocking.
Much like Angela, I'm in the engineering field, so I also see the gender inequality within it. And in classes in general, I'm usually one of maybe 3 girls in the class, but I've also gone to competitions for robotics and other things like that. And it was really uncomfortable when you're around and it's all boys and you see like maybe a girl here and there, and it's just very obvious that there is this indifference. And it's something that I would hope to see a change in the future.
Totally agree. And what about you, Belen and Emma?
For me personally, it all started in the classroom for me because I am very passionate about literature, as I said, and I was rarely given the opportunity to ever discuss feminist literature among other genres that are often neglected as well. And the only opportunity I really ever got was if we were given a independent reading book assignment where you got to choose your own book and you got to do a little project about it, but we weren't given the opportunity to discuss it. And from there, I really realized there's a lot of the world that's sheltered from me personally. And it wasn't until that I started diving into it and researching it myself that I felt myself become more mindful of my own actions, especially with gender inequality, as you've all brought up so far. Is there's a lot of ways that we ourselves contribute to it. And I didn't realize that until, again, as I said, until I started reading it and researching, that I realized that I'm not, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean that I don't contribute to gender inequality. And it just increases mindfulness and, yes, helps to start the discussion with others as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's important to bring
awareness. Piggybacking on what most of you guys said, just basically, yeah, I think most of it was from personal experience. I know from me, like it was basically just like being a little girl, just being interested in drawing, Oh yeah, she likes to draw flowers and things like that. And that was the thing that kind of like opened my eyes a little bit. And I was like, wait a minute, why is this even mentioned in the first place? Like, why am I being told this? I should probably give context, so let me get to that. Yeah, so I remember it was one time, basically around elementary school, and I was just, doing a project for like a fifth grade regular project, like a science project or something similar. And I had to do like a kind of a complex drawing just based on my data charts and everything and such. And I just had to be able to like reference from a picture. And I remember this little boy coming up to me and then just being like, "Why aren't you drawing flowers? That's really weird. Like, what kind of project are you doing? Like, you should be doing more." Like, he didn't say, like, obviously not feminist, but he did just get angry at me for some reason. And I was just like, that's really weird. That's something that we really like need to think about, especially in our society today, because we normalize a lot of things that are really questionable. So in terms of just gender stereotyping, I see it as definitely a personal experience.
I agree, and it can be really hard to start that conversation with especially younger children. But there's different ways that I feel like we can approach it, but it's definitely can be really touchy, especially if it's not your own child, and there's certain things that you can't exactly discuss yet with them. But it's opportunities like that where you want to be able to say, hey, girls don't have to draw flowers. Something as simple as that. Yeah.
That is true. It's important to start the conversation and bring awareness. We have this comment. How does opportunity look like to you? How do you create your own our own opportunities? So I think to create our opportunities, connection and network is really important. It's like a really strong foundation to a good opportunity. So I would just say build on to your network and connection, and just don't burn any bridges. Treat everyone nicely, and just don't let any opportunity go. Just take every opportunity that you can. It'll take you somewhere. That's what I would say. And that's how. Sorry, I'm frozen.
Well, to build off of what she said, I think one way to create opportunities for yourself is by using the power of yes. By saying yes to more things, you're more likely to find new activities. For me, I randomly decided, hey, you know what? I think BayhaGroup, the internship over the summer, would be a really good idea for me. And then they offered me an interview to be a co-designer intern over the summer. And I took it and I got the job and created an opportunity for myself. And I was even invited back. So one thing you need to consider is the power of yes.
Very well said. Thank you, Casandra.
Yes, the power of yes. I've never even thought of thinking about it like that, the power of yes. But going off what you're saying, it's for me, an opportunity looks something just like this internship, whether it was the MAID experience that we got to do with our school as Work Wonder interns and what we're doing now as co-designer interns. An opportunity to me is you're given the freedom to express your own views, but through synergizing with your co-designers, that's an opportunity to me. It's just the opportunity to embrace your own voice, but also for creating opportunities is just doing it, because especially when you see that you want to take an opportunity but there's none ready for you, you just have to do it and create it yourself, whether it's through making your own platform or connecting with others, as how we've been doing. That's what an opportunity would look like to me.
How is the best way to be heard and affect change in your personal experience? Well, like Emma said, you can create a platform, or just establish your own book or even articles online. There's so many ways that you can make your voice heard nowadays. Like, social media is everywhere, so there's definitely always a way. You just have to do it.
No, I agree. Go ahead, Belen.
No, I was just gonna mention how to just in regards to that last comment, basically, oh, sorry, I kind of forgot, but just piggying back off of that, I just really wanted to mention how important it is just to be able to just even have a small little talk, just have a talk with somebody or just a conversation if you realize you're in front of a situation where you can educate somebody else and just be able to bring them more awareness of what's going on and what can they do to just improve their own situation. And just like something very simple, like it can be within your community, it can be within just within your friend group, within your families, just in general, just small changes like that, like in your daily life is what's going to make you prosper and be able to just help everybody educate and then take in information yourself as well.
I agree. Just starting in your community, even if it's your own family or your neighborhood, or even your city, I think that's the best way to start. I know it can be really intimidating to start the conversation. It took me a really long time to feel confident in myself and my own views because it can be really difficult, especially at our age with our peers. There's so much negativity surrounding the idea of feminism itself, and people don't really understand it. And I think that goes with so many other movements, such as like the Black Lives Matter movement that was so wrongly misconstrued as being for just those who are Black and saying, oh, only Black Lives Matter. And then the All Lives Matter movement started. So I think it's just continuing to educate one another so that that miscommunication doesn't come about. And yeah, just constantly educate yourself as well, because when you want to be progressive, it's very important to keep evolving and understanding to not be too traditional with your views, especially when you look back at the history of feminism. It was extremely intolerant and now would be completely unacceptable to treat people in that way. And so, yeah, just have a lot of self-reflective moments and just be confident in what you're saying, but also listening with intention, listening to learn, listening to understand, and also talking to educate, but not talking out of hatefulness or anger, which it can be really hard to do. I feel like I personally can get really passionate and I can get angry. It's very frustrating, especially when you don't feel like you yourself are being heard. But just remember to stay calm and be dignified, because what you're saying is it's going to help others. You're not being selfish. So just keep doing what you're doing and yeah, keep your head up.
Yes, definitely.
I agree very much.
I would also like to say that just because you are not part of the problem and you may support the solution doesn't mean that you are part of the solution. So in order to get involved, you have to speak out about it. Don't let life pass you by. Get involved. Speak about what you believe in. It's important, and honestly, if anyone puts you down for it, they're in the wrong. You need to speak about what you believe in.
Yes, I agree very much. Always be proactive, own your voice and just stand up for yourself.
Yes.
Thank you, Marcella. That is great. What are things you find yourself doing as an improvement of your growth as a co-designer intern? I'll let you guys answer that because I still need some time to answer that.
When I first started, I would say like the first few weeks, I was definitely unsure of what I was capable of, because it was a new experience for all of us, coming back into this work environment. And for me personally, it was just always coming up with new ideas for what I could do next and how I could contribute to the company. And for me, that was just Instagram, social media management, boosting engagement on those types of platforms. And it's just always like it's challenging yourself and not being afraid of suggesting ideas, because your ideas are very valid. And again, there's synergy. So even if you think, okay, maybe my idea is not the strongest, together, like you can make it stronger. So yeah.
Yes, that's true. And I think just connecting with your coworkers and really care about them is very important too, because you are building a community, you're building connections, and caring for others, it just makes a place better for everyone. So that's what I try to get at every day. I try to connect with my coworkers and, be friends with him, be with them, connect with them on a personal level. I find that very fulfilling. So do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's all about teamwork. when I came into the internship, I was really shy and nervous and I didn't know what I was doing. I was all of a sudden supposed to lead all these students in this experience and had no clue what I was doing. But everyone in the team was just so supportive. I had fellow interns going through the same process, and I had June and Barb and all my superiors that just decided to help us and listen to us and actually get us through the process. And honestly, it's helped my confidence a lot.
Yes.
I-
Okay.
What are
So
examples?
this summer, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Sure, I'll start from the beginning. This summer, you will mentor well over 200 high school interns. What are examples of priorities you want incoming interns to learn and develop?
The first thing that came onto my mind is to be on time and respect deadlines, because that's something that is very highly valued at BayhaGroup. So I would definitely say treat this like real work. This is not a school. It's a place for you to practice real world skills, because if you go out there into the real workplace, I mean, this is a real workplace, but out there is harsher. Your boss is not going to let you go if you miss a deadline. So it's important to practice these good habits. That's what I would say is very important. So
Yes, I agree. Deadlines are super important at BayhaGroup, as Angela said, but I also would recommend your online presence as well. It's something as simple as just making sure what you're posting online is appropriate and professional, enough to the point where if your own parents saw it, you wouldn't be embarrassed or feel uncomfortable. Just keeping that in mind as well. Also, a LinkedIn account, I would definitely prioritize that. Being able to show your work and present yourself in the best way possible and be authentic as well online, because a lot of social media isn't real, if we're honest. So it's just making sure you're authentic with your work and who you are and what you present.
Yes, I think something else they should definitely take out of the experience is that they learn to express themselves. There is no such thing as a silly idea, as someone once said to me at the beginning of this. And honestly, it's true. Every idea seems silly at the beginning. If someone told another person 50, 70 years ago that you can talk to each other on video chat while sitting in your rooms, no one would believe it. It was silly. It didn't make sense. It was too futuristic. No one would believe in it. But we're here now. So there's no such thing as a silly idea, and you should express yourself.
I can definitely get behind that. So I just wanted to mention how, just in general, just owning your own confidence and owning who you want to be as a leader is just one of the main things you can do for interns, like future incoming interns. And that's definitely something that, like, I've been keeping in the back of my mind, even though I kind of forget about them sometimes, because I know we all went into this very shy, very questionable like decisions, and we were like, what am I doing? So yeah, definitely. I would say just like getting out your boundary, testing your limits every single day, and just be able to see where you can grow and just like learn throughout the process. And learning is always like the most important part of it as well.
Yes, and to the future interns, I just want to say that we were in your shoes as well. So we came into this internship really shy, really unexperienced, really just not it. But look at here we are, like who we are now. So yeah, we're we're confident, we're comfortable with ourselves, and we are skilled. So I hope you guys can really take this experience and make the most out of it. So I think that's it for this week's topic. Yes. And next week, we're going to have June's grant getting series. So please stay tuned for that. And that'll be out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had so much fun talking about our topics. And I'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Thank you.